I found out I was excluded from my own sister's wedding on a Monday morning, sitting in my Seattle apartment with a cup of cooled tea between my hands. Mom called while I was reviewing monthly logistics reports for the medical equipment distribution company, where I worked as a supply chain analyst. "Emma, honey, we need to talk about Laura's wedding." Mom's voice had that particular tone she used when delivering bad news she wanted to pretend wasn't actually bad. "What about it?" I asked, setting down my pen. I'd already requested the time off. The wedding was in 2 weeks, right? A long pause, the kind that makes your stomach drop. "Well, that's the thing. Your dad and I were handling all the tickets and hotel, and somehow we forgot to book yours. Checked yesterday, everything's sold out. Peak season in Bali, hotels are packed." I stared at the wall where a photo from last year's Christmas hung, all of us smiling. Laura had her arm around my shoulders. We were sisters, supposed to be close. "Forgot," I repeated. "These things happen, sweetheart. We got so caught up in the planning. Laura's devastated, of course, but she understands. We'll take tons of photos for you." I thought about the 26 years I'd spent being the middle one everyone forgot. Laura, the star, successful interior designer. Younger brother Mike, the charismatic startup guy everyone adored. And me, just Emma, reliable, quiet, easily erased from memory. "Happens," I said flatly. "Oh, I'm so glad you understand. Your sister was worried you'd be upset." After the call, I sat for an hour. Then I opened my laptop and started searching, not flights to Bali, but something else entirely. The next day, I requested a year-long leave from my boss, Kate. "A year," she raised her eyebrows. "Everything's fine," I said. "I have personal projects. 6 years here, time for a break." Kate studied me. I'd always been her most reliable analyst, stayed late, never complained, fixed problems quietly. "You've got plenty of vacation saved," she said finally. "And honestly, Emma, you deserve it. This department runs on you. Take the sabbatical, your spot will be here." That evening, I messaged the family group chat. "Not coming to the wedding, but hope it's beautiful. Taking a timeout. Going offline, love you all." Laura replied instantly, "What? Where are you going?" I didn't answer, turned off my phone. In a week, I sold my furniture, stored my car, sublet my apartment to a colleague. Left with 2 suitcases and a backpack. Family called straight to voicemail. Laura left panicked messages. "Em, this is weird, you okay? Call me." Mike texted, "Pick up, mom's freaking out." I stayed silent. The day before Laura's wedding, I boarded a plane, not to Bali, but to Seoul. I'd always dreamed of Korea. Years of frugal living and smart investing gave me enough to live freely, if I was careful. As the plane took off, I felt something I hadn't in years: freedom. 3 weeks in Korea, hostels, street food, temples, practicing my awful Korean with patient locals. In Busan, I took pottery classes from an old woman who reminded me of Grandma, the one who actually remembered my birthday every year and left me a small inheritance. No one in the family knew about the money. Grandma had set up the trust privately with a letter. "Emma, you always think ahead, plan quietly while others make noise. Use this wisely, make yourself proud." I'd invested most of it and watched it grow. Now I was spending it exactly as intended. From Seoul to Singapore, then Delhi. No photos, no updates, just a traveler with a backpack and a journal. In Mumbai, I took an 8-week digital marketing course at an expat-run school. Turns out data and analysis were my thing, and I picked up online strategies fast. From rare internet cafe check-ins, once every 2 weeks, I saw the family was losing it. Laura's wedding happened, white sand, sunset, elegant reception. On photos, everyone looked happy. I wasn't missed. But my inbox told another story: 52 emails from Mom, 38 from Laura, 25 from Mike. Even Dad, who never used email, sent 2. Subjects: "Where are you?" Right arrow, "Call us," right arrow, "This isn't funny," right arrow, "We're going out of our minds." I didn't open them. In Delhi, I met Lee, an Australian running an export business connecting Indian artisans to European buyers. 12 years traveling, all from a laptop. The thing about disappearing, she said over coffee in Jaipur, is you find out who you are when no one's watching. And who are you? I asked. She grinned, way more interesting than my family ever gave me credit for. We became friends. Lee taught me international trade basics, cross-cultural supply chains, spotting quality goods. My medical logistics background fit perfectly. We started small, helped a Jaipur jewelry cooperative reach the French market. Thought it was just practice. It became more. By month 4 of my absence, I'd facilitated 3 successful shipments and earned my first commission. Not much, a week's expenses, but mine ***, not for clocking in but for initiative. Lee whistled. You've got a gift, ever think full-time? Maybe. I moved through India like a ghost. Goa, Kerala, back to Delhi. Learned to haggle, spot quality, balance cultures. Took courses in international law and logistics. Worked with nomads and small entrepreneurs. By month 6, I ran my own micro-consulting, helping artisans and small manufacturers reach global distributors. Optimized routes, negotiated rates. Money covered travel and savings. More importantly, I grew in ways I never did at home, where I was reliable Emma, no trouble. Phone on only bi-weekly. Messages evolved. Anger right arrow, worry right arrow, guilt. Mom, honey, we hurt you. Just let us know you're alive. Laura, sorry about the wedding. Should have checked myself. Mike, everyone's on edge. Dad's not sleeping, just a sign. Month 7 in Prague. Moved to Europe. Dad's email with a video. Him in his study, older, tired. Emma, don't know if you'll see this, we were wrong. Got caught up in Laura's day and forgot you. No excuse. You're our daughter, we failed. Come home or just say you're safe. Love you. Watched it 3 times. Closed the laptop. Walked the Charles Bridge. Anger burned out somewhere between Seoul and Prague, between pottery and contracts. What remained? I'd let myself be forgotten, being easy, but not ready to return. Month 8, business growing. Steady clients, small Asian manufacturers needing Europe and US. Spoke decent Czech, passable Hindi, serviceable Korean. Life fully mine. Then a LinkedIn message from Elizabeth, senior buyer at Chicago-based Nexus Medical Logistics. Emma, got your contact. Impressive international supply chain work. Struggling with India-Korea suppliers, quality inconsistent, freight too high. Interested in a contract. Profile, Nexus, competitor to my old company but nimbler. Aggressively growing. Interested, based in Europe, available for video, timeline. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Chicago. Call from a Prague coworking space. Elizabeth, sharp woman in her 50s, steel gray hair, no nonsense. Direct, we're bleeding on Asia. Delays, quality, overpaying. Heard you cut freight 35% for 3 clients in 6 months. How? I explained. Relationship building, local logistics networks, partner negotiations, quality control respecting local practices. 28 years in this, she said. Most consultants talk, you know your stuff. Offering 6-month contract, remote with supplier travel. Pays serious. Named a figure more than my Seattle yearly. Think by Friday. 2 hours in the parking space. This wasn't freelance. It was structure, validation of everything built, but also emerging from hiding. I emailed, accept, when do we start? Monday, welcome to Nexus. Over the weekend, I returned to the visible world. Turned my phone on fully notification avalanche. Ignored. Updated LinkedIn. International supply chain consultant, Nexus Medical Logistics. Added case studies. Post. Excited to join Nexus optimizing global supply chains. New chapter. Calls within 10 minutes. Laura, Mom, Mike. Ignored. Prepared for launch. Elizabeth sent files on Nexus challenges. Smiled. Their top Asia competitor, my old company. Irony. Sunday opened family messages. Months of guilt, anger, desperation. Wrote in chat. Hi, alive. Traveled, worked. Will reach out soon. Laura called, declined. Text. Not ready to talk yet, but I'm okay. Monday start. Elizabeth gathered Nexus execs. I presented analysis and plan. Attention I never got at the old job. CEO Richard nodded. This is what we needed. Welcome, Emma. We'll change the game. First project, back to India. Mandate. Reliable partnerships with 3 key suppliers, contracts giving Nexus advantage. Trip a triumph. Using connections, signed exclusive with 2 suppliers previously with my old company, frustrated by their rigidity. Third, a family-run medical packaging operation. Quality above FDA, 45% cheaper. Back in Prague, presented contracts. Richard stood and clapped. Emma, in 3 weeks you did what the last consultant couldn't in 6 months. Savings, $1, 8M annually. Outstanding. Elizabeth smiled, rare. Knew I was right, prepare for role expansion. That night, I called family. Mom picked up on the first ring. Emma, oh my God, it's you. Hi, Mom, I'm in Prague. Traveled, worked. Consultant in international logistics now. Silence. You've been in Europe 9 months. Asia before that, 9 total. You vanished for 9 months and didn't think to tell us you weren't invited to Laura's wedding until 2 weeks before, I said calmly. We're even. Silence. Emma, that's not fair. We apologized, mistake. Mistake is accidental. You had a list, my name wasn't on it. That was a choice. Laura's devastated. From the photos, everyone looked happy. No one seemed to miss anything. We need to talk as a family. When are you coming home? Not sure, work's here. What work? You had a great job in Seattle. Quit, got a better one now. Laura called later, guilt first. Can't believe you disappeared. Imagine what that did to me. On my wedding day, knowing my sister was somewhere angry. Did it ruin your day? No, but... Then it all worked out. That's cruel. Maybe you just don't know what I'm like. We grew up together. And sisters remember to invite each other to weddings. She was crying. Not my fault, parents handled travel. You trusted them with everything except checking if your sister was invited. Says a lot. Sorry, how many times do I have to say it? I'm not angry anymore, just done being invisible. You were never. I was the boring one. No design career, perfect wedding, interesting life. Just reliable M you could forget. She'd always be there anyway. That's not true. Then, when was the last time you asked about my life? What I wanted, what mattered to me? Silence, she couldn't remember, because it never happened. Congrats on the marriage, be happy. Hung up. Mike anger. What the hell, M? 9 months gone. You know how crazy that made everyone. Dad thought you were dead. Sent a message I was fine. 1 message in 9 months. Insane. Or about as much attention as I usually get. Oh, come on, don't play victim. After being ghosted first, seems fair. You're being childish. Maybe, or finally standing up for myself. Standing up by running to Europe, Prague, seriously. Didn't run, left, there's a difference. When are you coming back? Don't know, why does everyone ask? Because you live here, you have family. I have a job in Prague and clients in Asia. This is my life now. You can't just decide to live in Czechia. I can when I'm an adult with money and skills. I go where I want, do what I want. Stop waiting for permission from people who barely notice I exist. That's not fair. Fair, when's my birthday? Silence. 3 months ago, not one of you remembered. Turned 27 in Delhi completely alone. Family didn't even notice. So forgive me if I'm not rushing back for a reunion. Muted the chat, focused on work. Elizabeth expanded my role. Senior consultant, raise, equity options. Territory, not just Asia, but Eastern Europe. Moved from Prague to Budapest. Fell in love instantly. Architecture, history, vibe. Reputation grew. Offers from others, stayed loyal to Nexus. They took a chance when I was a resume gap. Elizabeth became a mentor. Family shifted to manipulation. Mom on Dad's health, Laura forwarding forgiveness articles, Mike sending memes like nothing happened. Replied rarely, briefly. Alive, all good. 6 weeks into Budapest, call from Elizabeth. Sensitive matter, sending encrypted file. Docs from old company. Aggressive expansion, undercutting Nexus prices, seemingly with insider cost knowledge. How'd they get our data? Think a mole. Emma, you worked there 6 years. Sign a non-compete. No, just an analyst. Not important enough. Contact since leaving. 0. Quit without notice and vanished. Silence. Timeline matches. They got aggressive when you were building our Asia suppliers. Think they're copying my strategy. We need to find out. Anyone who might track you. Remembered. There was one, Liam. In my department, always competitive, knew my methods. LinkedIn, Liam, now Director of International Logistics. My *** job, the one I'd worked toward for 6 years. Elizabeth, he took your spot. Week of investigation. Liam had been monitoring my LinkedIn, travels, approaching my suppliers 3 months behind, copying strategies. But without cultural sensitivity, patience, suppliers rejected or gave minimal access, staying loyal to me. Still issues, confusion, distrust. We need to shut this down, Elizabeth said. Nexus opening U.S. office, want you there, plus direct counter to Liam. Thought about it. Seattle, home, where I fled a year ago. When? 3 months, finish Europe transition. After the call, watched Budapest lights. A year ago, invisible. Now, strategic weapon, irony. Called Mom. Mom, I'm coming back to Seattle. Gasp sob, really, when? 3 months for work. Nexus opening regional office, I'm running it. Running an office, I thought you were consulting. Promoted to regional director now. I didn't know you were doing so well. You didn't ask. Pause. You're right, I'm sorry, truly. I'm not coming back as old Emma. That person's gone. On my terms with my life, career. If you want in, accept it. Of course, just want you in our lives. We'll see. 3 months wrapped Europe projects, trained replacement. Nexus office in Seattle, new downtown tower, panoramic Puget Sound views. Name on door, Emma, regional director ***. A year ago, cubicle, now office and team. First hire, Claire, ex-operations manager at a medtech firm. Sharp, ambitious. Honest, she said in interview, I know who you are. Analyst who vanished, returned as consultant, built Asia rep fast, now positioned to take on former employer. Great story. It's not a story, it's my life. Even better, when do I start? Built a small, effective team. Family knew I was in town, didn't reach out. After 2 weeks, agreed to dinner, restaurant, neutral ground. All there, Mom, Dad, Laura with husband Jake, Mike, looked older. Or I was seeing clearly for the first time. Dad cleared throat. Emma, we owe you a real apology. Excluding you from Laura's wedding, unforgivable. Got caught up, forgot the most important, you. Mom, we didn't forget. Dad firmly. We did. Emma was always the easy child, no demands, and we took advantage. Laura cried quietly. Mike stared at his plate. Sorry, Dad continued. You deserved better. Give us a chance, we'll do better. I looked at them. Family that shaped me, forgot me, inadvertently pushed me to become stronger. I appreciate it, I said carefully. But understand, I'm not who left. I don't need your approval. Built a life that matters to me, with or without you. We understand, Mom said quickly. Just want to be in it however you say. Then accept, I'm in Seattle but also Budapest, Delhi, wherever work takes me. Successful, independent. Stop seeing me as reliable, boring Emma who exists to make others comfortable. We never thought you were boring, Laura said, voice thick. I looked at her, my one-sidalized sister. Yes, you did, all of you, but that's okay. It taught me being forgotten can be the greatest gift, forced me to find out who I was without you, and I like who I found. Dinner ended with tentative stay in touch. promised occasional Sunday dinners. They remember my birthday next year. Small steps. Real test, 2 weeks later. Liam messaged on LinkedIn. Heard you're back. Coffee. Love to hear about your travels. Stared long. He'd copied me, profited from my success while I was invisible to him. Tuesday, 10 a.m. He suggested near old office. I countered near new. He agreed. Liam, same. Confident, polished, always noticed while I faded. Emma, you look great. Europe clearly agreed with you. It did. Coffee, small talk about Seattle growth weather. He circled. Finally. Have to say, been following your work. Impressive. That India deal everyone's talking about. Brilliant. Thank you. You were always good at details. Remember the Korea project? You presented my analysis as yours. He winced. Team effort. Of course. So why meet? Pick your brain on Asia markets. We're expanding, could use insights. Maybe even collaborate. Help my competitor. We don't have to be competitors. I set down my cup. Liam, you've been stalking my LinkedIn for a year. Approaching my suppliers, using my strategies, trying to replicate my success, now want to collaborate. His face shifted, defensive. Don't know what you're talking about. You do. The question is why? You got the promotion I should have had. In the job I worked toward for 6 years. Why so interested in me? Silence, envy flickered. Because you're good at this. Better than me, maybe. Always were. You see what others miss. Build lasting relationships. Now with Nexus, you're beating us everywhere. And whose fault? I didn't force you to make me leave. No, you just made staying impossible. What do you want me to say? Sorry, wish it was different. Don't want you to say anything. Wanted you to know I know exactly what you've been doing and it hasn't worked. The suppliers you approached told me about your offers. Laughed at how poorly you understood their cultures, how you strong-armed instead of partnering. We're fine. You're hemorrhaging Asia market share, 14% loss in 6 months. Nexus gained 17%. Numbers are public. So you came to gloat. Came to finish what I started. I stood. He looked up, uncertain for the first time. Enjoy your coffee. And Liam, stop following my LinkedIn, it's pathetic. That evening, video call with Elizabeth. She was smiling. Heard about your meeting with Liam. Well done. Industry's small people talk, especially when someone shuts down the competition's golden boy publicly. Just told the truth. News, your impact on growth is undeniable. Offering VP of International Operations, all global supply chains. I sat slowly. VP. At old company, decades away if ever, I'd been back less than a year. You've earned it. Board presentation next week, 2-year strategy. Show them what you showed in India and Budapest. Convince them you can scale globally. After, sat in my apartment watching Seattle's skyline. A year ago, worthless, forgotten. Now, offered VP at a company that valued me. Called Mom. Mom, board presentation tomorrow. So proud. What's it about? Explained, strategy, vision. She listened, asked questions showing genuine effort. Emma, had no idea you were at this level. Remarkable. It's what I've been building toward. Can I come to Seattle next month? Just me. Dinner, really talk about your life, work, everything we missed. Maybe, after the presentation. Presentation, 9 a.m., Nexus Chicago HQ. Flew in night before. Richard, nervous. No, focused. Good answer. Boardroom, long table, leather chairs, 7 members plus Richard and Elizabeth. Skepticism, young, short tenure. Understood. Started with India case study, then Hungary. Moved to global map, targets, identified partners, growth projections. Yes, I said simply. Here's how. Detailed strategy, underserved markets, local partnerships over corporate mandates. Cultural respect with quality standards. Network of regional consultants understanding local and global. Key not central control, but regional trust connected into a coherent network. Competitors, including my former employer, Fail forcing one-size-fits-all. We win by adapting. Questions, answered confidently. Shift in eyes won them over. Chair Margaret. Why Nexus when you could go anywhere? Elizabeth took a risk when I was unproven. Saw potential others saw as a resume gap. Gave me room to succeed or fail on merits. That's rare, valuable, worth building something exceptional for. What do you want to achieve? Where in 5 years? Make Nexus the dominant player in international medical logistics. Build something that lasts matters. In 5 years, look back knowing I turned potential into reality. 20 minutes in Richard's office. Elizabeth, one of the best presentations I've seen. Richard returned, grinning. Congratulations, Madame Vice President. Start immediately. Announced company-wide that afternoon. LinkedIn updated. Messages poured in. Congrats from colleagues, connection requests from competitors, one from old company CEO. Congratulations. Wish we'd recognized your talent, doors open. Didn't reply, they had their chance. Next 3 months, built team, implemented strategy. Claire transferred to Chicago as operations director. Hired regional managers for Asia, Europe, Latin America. Constant travel, contracts, network. Methodically dismantled old employers' advantages. Every supplier they took for granted, we courted. Every ignored market we entered. Every damaged relationship we repaired. Not revenge, just better work. Results: 6 months post-promotion, Nexus captured 31% global market. Old employer down to 16%. Stock declined. Board fired CEO. Liam lost his job, LinkedIn quietly seeking opportunities. Part of me satisfied, larger part nothing. He was irrelevant to my story. Family slowly re-entered my life. Sunday dinners regular with clear boundaries. Shared about work when I wanted, deflected when not. They were learning to see me as I was, not assumed. Laura and I, coffee, just us. Been thinking about what you said, never asking about your life. You were right. So focused on my career, wedding, life, never considered yours. Want to do better. Tell me about your work. Really, not the LinkedIn version. I did. Told about India, negotiating across cultures, satisfaction of building from nothing. She listened, really listened, asking genuine questions. You know what's funny? She said when I finished. I always thought I was the successful sister, impressive career, perfect life. But you built something I never could. Took massive risk, reinvented yourself, came back stronger. I'm actually jealous. Don't be. You have your path, I have mine. They don't have to compete. When did you get so wise? I smiled. Somewhere between Delhi and Budapest. A year and 7 months after disappearing from family life, I stood in Nexus Chicago HQ looking at quarterly projections. Just closed the biggest deal in company history. An exclusive partnership with a Brazilian manufacturing consortium supplying 35% of the U.S. market. Richard called me in. Emma, board wants to offer you a seat, youngest in Nexus history. I accepted. That evening, I took myself to dinner at a nice restaurant. No family, no colleagues, just me. Wine, perfect steak dessert. Savored every bite, thinking about the journey. 2 years ago, invisible, forgotten, left behind. Today, board member of a major medical logistics company, overseeing operations across 4 continents, earning more than I ever imagined. But more, I became someone I respect, who doesn't wait for permission or validation, who builds her own path when the old one disappears. Phone buzzed. Mom, saw the board news, so proud, sweetheart, Sunday dinner to celebrate. I smiled and typed, maybe, flight to Singapore Monday, let me check my schedule. Because that was my life now. International flights, board meetings, strategic decisions affecting thousands, and a family that finally learned I was worth remembering. In the months that followed, consequences for those who overlooked me became clear. Liam never recovered career momentum, stuck in a junior role at a smaller firm, always wondering what could have been. My former employer continued losing share, eventually acquired by a competitor at a fraction of former valuation. The exec team that passed me over explained to shareholders how they lost the industry's most valuable strategist. Laura's perfect life cracked. Her husband's business failed. She often called for advice, finally seeing me as someone worth consulting. My parents, humbled by nearly losing me entirely, made genuine efforts to understand my life, though they'd never fully grasped the depth of what their neglect cost me. As I sit in my Chicago office now, watching planes take off toward next week's destinations, I realize the greatest revenge wasn't their downfall, but my rise. They forgot me, and in that forgetting, freed me to become extraordinary.